Hey y'all, it's been kind of rainy and gray here these past few days, so I thought it would be fun to try to make a beat today. I love production and trying to make these hip hop beats. Now normally I would have studio monitors, a bass guitar, a drum pad, I have a synthesizer that makes all these cool sounds. But that's all back home and I'm traveling on the road right now, so I have an acoustic guitar, an electric guitar, a keyboard that happened to be the place I'm staying, a microphone, and then whatever other sounds are inside of Logic, the DAW that I'm using. So yeah, we're gonna see what we can do with what we got. So I love doing this kind of stuff because you can always do more with less in music. You know, if you have less to work with, then you can try different rhythms or different melodies, all that kind of stuff, and get inventive other ways. So I'm just gonna start with the drums and bass here. I think if I can get a good drum and bass track going, that will be a great place to start. So I'm just gonna go through some different sounds and see what I like. And it's gonna sound like doo-doo butter at first because I'm filming through my phone and just getting the laptop sound, but at the end of this video, I'll bounce the track out and let you hear how it really sounds. Nope. I'm just gonna start with a real simple kick and snare track here and maybe try to get like a 4-bar loop going. So I changed the velocity of some of these notes and I actually added a few notes in too. And sometimes my process is like that at home making beats, but usually I just try to play stuff in on the drum pad exactly how I want it to sound. And this is pretty simple, which is usually what I try and start with. And I might change some of these notes as I go along, but it's a good place to start. All right, so I will definitely add some hi-hats and cymbals and stuff, but I'm gonna move on to bass because I think as the production starts to take shape, then I'll know when I wanna put those cymbals and stuff in. Like maybe I want the first 4 bars to just be kick and snare and kind of let it build a little bit. Or maybe I'll even find out that I wanna just have hi-hats in the first 4 bar and take the kick and snare out. But yeah, we're gonna figure that out. I'm in the synth bass area right now for Logic, and some of these are pretty weird, as you can hear. So I might just wind up using like a regular 808 kind of sound, but I'm gonna keep going through these and see what I can find. So I found this vintage brassy bass. It's a little weird. I didn't want to go to the 808s. I thought that might be kind of boring, and I'm in New Orleans, so what the hell. This kind of sounds like some like distorted tuba or something. So I'm just gonna try and play something in real quick. I turned it way up so you could hear it through the phone. So I had to do just a little bit of touching up, nothing too crazy, but I think while I'm using this musical typing feature and also filming at the same time, you know, I'm gonna have to clean these up a little bit. This is what it sounds like so far. So I am gonna put some hi-hats in there now, and I am gonna leave the first 4 bars pretty much just the kick and snare. And I'm just gonna play 8th notes and then maybe go back and take some out if I feel like that's necessary. And I changed the drum set because the hi-hats for that original one were just trash. They sounded more like a rim click than a hi-hat. So let's see what we got here. Yeah, it's gonna take a little editing for that one, but I think we can make it work. So I went in and changed the velocity on a lot of these and then just added a few things and took a few out. It's a pretty tedious way to do it, but you know, no drummer is actually gonna be playing every single hi-hat the same exact, you know, with the same exact force. So it just sounds not quite right when every note is the same velocity. So this is what we got now. All right, so like I said, that's a little bit more tedious than the way that I'm used to doing it. But you know, you gotta do what you gotta do. So now I'm gonna add in some keyboard and maybe some guitar, and this is gonna be a lot more fun for me because it's a little more straightforward. It's just playing the instruments and not so much going in there and like changing everything on the computer, which, you know, I'd rather play more and do less of the computer stuff. So I know I was talking about getting weird with the rhythms and all that if you don't have a whole lot to work with, but I'm honestly just hearing these chords come down right on the one and just holding out. And you'll hear that a lot with hip hop songs that are on the radio, like the drums and bass carrying the track and then the chords kind of in the background. So that's sort of what I'm gonna go for right now. I think it's gonna work for this track. I'm gonna try to lay them in real quick. All right, so I'm about to add in the guitar, but I want to show you what it sounds like with just the keys added in there. And I think the most important thing with production is just making sure everything has its own very specific place in the mix. And that goes for frequency and rhythm. So, you know, you can do a lot of different stuff. There's a lot of different approaches. You can have multiple instruments playing chords, or you can have like one playing chords and the other doing ear candy, or maybe even no chords, just bass and drums and stuff. But yeah, it's just really important to make sure that nothing's on top of the other instruments, or like, you know, nothing's canceling the other one out. And I'm having the keys come in when the hi-hats do. So I'm definitely hearing more of like an ear candy kind of approach with the guitar. So I'm just gonna verb it out, put a ton of reverb on it, and play some notes in the higher register here. And I do that probably too often. I just love, it makes it sound so chill. It's a great sound, and you won't hear it until I play the whole track afterward, but I'm gonna try to record this real quick. And now for the finished product. I did a little bit of mixing and touch up, but not a ton. Again, I don't like to get too crazy with that stuff. And usually the song will speak for itself if the performance is there and the production is right. You don't have to go too nuts with the mixing. Oh, you certainly can, and that does make it sound even better, but I'm more well-versed in like the actual instrument and production part. So here it is. I told you that verbed out guitar makes it sound chill. Yeah, so it's not the best beat in the world that I've ever made, but it's pretty cool, and it's a good start. It's the first time I've really tried to make a beat here on the road, because so far I've just been playing guitar for the most part. But yeah, I'm gonna have to mess around with that some more. Maybe I'll post some more of this too.